because I need to get all these thoughts out of my head because that's that leaves more room in my head to think about other stuff. Okay, so these thoughts are people only need to teach what they are passionate about. And if they are not passionate about that thing, they don't need to teach it. I say that because world history is something that I don't think I learned well in high school. That's because I was lucky enough in high school that I had a principal who was open-minded, and he let me graduate without taking world history. So technically, I'm not a high school graduate, and then technically, I'm not a college graduate because I went to college with the high school degree that's implied I took world history. Well, I'm pretty sure the principal who let me go is not here anymore. So you can't take me to jail. So, okay, Thelma, were your teachers passionate? I had teachers that were so passionate about their subject, people avoided them. So if you're listening to my video to Suki, did you have Power I? Her name was I. Williams. I don't know what the I stood for, but people were scared of her. I was, because she failed people a lot. And now that I think about it, she taught world history, and she was probably passionate about world history. Like I grew up to be passionate about anatomy and physiology, all passionate about biology, period. But I remember saying to my students, everybody has a body, so everybody needs to learn about the body. And I had students who were like, well, yeah, right, whatever. I don't need to know that, so they didn't pay attention, and we had problems. And they're grown now, so I suspect they need to know about their bodies. There have been points in their life where they should know about their bodies or their babies' bodies. If they had paid attention in my class, they would understand why their baby was constipated and what they should do to avoid that in the future. Okay, so teachers should be passionate. And I think a problem we have now, everybody thinks they can teach. So they are going into the classroom and they're not passionate about anything but making money. And that does not help our kids. It helps the teachers, but not our kids. Okay, so the world history thing brings to mind much like we are lifelong learners. We never stop. So I think about world history all the time because they're having a war now, and it's the Israelis against Hamas. And I wonder, who is Hamas? Where did they come from? But that is world history. That is what I would have taken if I was not lucky enough to have my principal. I was really lucky. Okay, but it's that subject where I would have learned Hamas. Okay, so I noticed that Kevin can speak confidently about the war. And I asked him, how do you know all that stuff? And he tells me that he gets information from reading the Wall Street Journal and other journals that he gets. And I get that because I don't read the Wall Street Journal, but I get that he is more knowledgeable because he does. So we are lifelong learners. And I am learning more now because I care more now about world history. And I need to know world history. Okay, Suki, so I need some coffee right now. And I need to stop talking to you for a minute. So I want you to tell me stuff that's gonna help me learn. Like, what was it like for you at your high school? Were your teachers passionate? Who taught you world history? And did they teach you about Hamas? Do you know about the war that has broken out? The Israelis and the Palestinians. The Palestinians. Okay, so another thing is I started off teaching history. What? My worst subject. But teaching it made it clear to me. It was more meaningful to me because I was teaching it. Okay, so this is what I remember from teaching it, which I now realize was genius. I taught my students history. I don't even remember what history, if it was world history or American history, but this is what I did. I had my high school students choose a side, and then we created plays where my students in class, not the whole school, but just my students in class, put on plays where they each took a side of the conflict. We studied it, and they understood how that side felt, and they played that side of the conflict, which meant in the end, I hope, I taught them there are two sides to every war. And it was important that they understood both sides and that they communicated that. Okay, now I gotta go because I got coffee and I got apples. And I want to know what you think because I think so much. It gives me a headache. All right, tell me what you think. I think I love you. Goodbye.